The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guys, me. Really real, villain real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. All right, in a night that had Minnesota scoring 12 points in a quarter.
0 for 16 to start, by the way.
Yep. And the Warriors look like they, quote-unquote, might be back. The DeMar DeRozan buzzer beater. And Luka, LeBron, and Reeves being the new big three in LA. A lot of things going on in the NBA last night. Scott Studio Reichel, what was your favorite part of Scott? What's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of yesterday's card was Jackson Hayes starting at center because I had Walker Kessler over his points as my lock, so that felt pretty good to get there. I think he had 2 points in the entire first half, and then he ended up with like 13, so I can't complain. That was plus money, actually, plus 105. But yeah, it was really tough to evaluate the Lakers because they looked great in the entire game, but I can't tell if that's because they were dominant or because the Jazz are just horrible at basketball. I think it's both. Like, it's tough to tell. I kind of need to see them play against a good team before I officially crown the big three. But Luka was fine in his first game back in about 2 months. I can't believe his points prop was at like 27.5, which I thought was kind of insane. LeBron got injured midway through the game. He hurt his abdomen, so we'll see how. I think he's fine, though. He was back on the sideline at the end. They were up by a ton. Reeves was fine. DeRozan had a great game. He had 42 points, I think. Dallas, it's actually crazy because Gafford got injured now. So AD, PJ Washington, and Gafford all got injured in the span of 3 days.
Yikes.
Are they going to miss the play-in? Are they going to miss the playoffs? I don't even know. Like, there's a possibility this goes even worse than you think because they might miss the actual playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah, AD's got to come back to it. If they get in the playoffs with AD, I think, and they're fully healthy, I think they make noise. But that's a lot to ask of AD in this team right now. I will say that very much. All right. We're going to get in. We only got 4 games on the slate. We're going to get right to it. But first, football's over, but NASCAR is back. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona to sign up for their free Daytona 500 contest to be entered for a chance to win $100 in cold hard cash plus a $100 SGPN gift card plus random bonus prizes as well. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona to sign up. All right. First game up on the slate, we've got the Toronto Raptors on the road going to play the Philadelphia 76ers in the Nick Nurse revenge spot here. Philly laying 9. 225 is the total for this game. Injury report here, and we've got for the Raptors, oh, Lord. Jakob Poeltl, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, all out. Jonathan Mogbo is a probable. And we have Grady Dick, who is probable as well. For Philadelphia, Kyle Lowry is out. Joel Embiid is questionable for this game. And Eric Gordon is questionable as well. Scott, laying 9 with this Philadelphia 76ers team here.
Yeah, I think that Philly's going to win this game. The question is by how much, because Toronto's been terrible on the road. They're 4-21 straight up on the road, but Philly's only 10-16 at home. So it's tough to really trust either team. Toronto had a good defensive game against Houston last time out, but they only scored 87 points. That's been their only good defensive showing for the last week. They've given up 121 points minimum in 3 of their last 4. Then again, that was against the Thunder, the Grizzlies, and the Knicks. So pretty good competition there. But I think Embiid's going to play, but I don't know if he's actually going to. So we never really know about that. But to play in the game today, that counts for something. Maxi's been great recently, but I think Philly's going to win. I want to quickly see what I can get for maybe halftime, full-time for Philly, but they let bad teams hang around all the time, and that does make things a bit tricky. I see 8.5 actually available on FanDuel, so you actually can find a better number. But if you want to look for halftime, full-time on Philly, you can get that at -155. Bit juicy for me, so tough to really find much. Maybe I'll go with Philly team total over and just pick them to score, but I think I'd rather just take maxi props.
Yeah, maxi props. I mean, 7 of the last 10 Toronto's covered. They've been really good at the number all season. I just don't feel this is a lot of points to lay with this Philadelphia team.
I understand it because of the injury report and how Pirtle's out, so they have no centers. If Embiid was going to play, it is the series matchup problem.
Yeah.
So I think Embiid could walk into like 35 if he actually plays in this game. But I think Maxi's in line for a good game. I don't mind the Maxi, maybe PA. I don't mind the points and assists because I don't know who's going to guard him, and his assists have been good lately. So I prefer maybe going for player props in this game. I'm not backing Paul George. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to back Paul George. He's been horrible the entire year.
I can't get behind this Philly team. I really want to because I do think that this is a matchup nightmare, but I just can't do it. I can't do it, which means they're probably going to cover. All right, next game up. Let's talk about my New York Knicks on the road going to play the not Philadelphia. I'm stuck on the last game. Indiana Pacers in a grudge match here. We've got the Knicks laying 2.5, 240 is the total injury report for these two teams. And OG is a questionable with that foot injury. We'll see if he's able to go. Josh Hart is probable. You've got Miles Turner, who is questionable for the Pacers, and that's about it here. I feel like I struggle with these matchups because they just go either way between the Pacers and the Knicks. I understand the Pacers got the better of them in the playoff series. The Knicks came back earlier this season and got them at home, and then at Indiana. Indiana came back as 3-point dogs and was able to score, and get the win there. And ultimately, that's what I think is going to happen in this game, is that we're just going to see a bunch of scoring. I know it's at 240. I think it's a high total, but I think it still goes over. I think the Pacers' defense is horrible, and they're at home where they like to play with tempo, play with pace, and the over is really, really good, 14-8 at home to the over. So it feels like an over game, but very, very confused on the side here. Probably going to have to lean Knicks. What are you doing?
Yeah, OG once again is questionable for this game. There were rumors from Shams over the weekend that he's supposed to be out till the All-Star break. So it seems like he's actually progressing pretty well from his injury. Do I think they rush him back? Tibbs might. I don't know if the front office will let him do it. So I'm assuming OG's not going to play in this game, but it could go either way. Let's put it that way. So assuming OG doesn't play, I think they're going to have a hard time actually guarding, especially with the pace that Indiana plays at. I think it's a decent amount to actually lay on the road with the Knicks. I know the Knicks have been a good road team, and I understand that Brunson's been solid, Cat's been good this season. But I do think Indiana at home is dangerous, and I do think that Indiana, I don't want to say it's had the Knicks number, but the pace has given the Knicks problems over the last year or two, and I do think that Indiana should arguably, I don't know if they should be favored, but 2.5 feels pretty large when one of your best wing defenders is probably not going to play in this game. I know Turner's a pretty good piece for Indiana. We'll see if he suits up or not, and if he doesn't, then they got problems with Cat. But I think I'll go with Indiana in this game. As you said before, these meetings can kind of go either way, and so far the home team is 2-0 this season. I think that Indiana at home is being a bit disrespected in this game. The Pacers had a really bad loss to the no LeBron, no Luka Lakers, where Reeves dropped 45. And the Knicks said, hold my beer, we're going to get blown out by 30, basically, against Boston at home. So both teams are not playing good basketball, at least based on the last game that they played. But I think Indiana, in what we think is going to be a coin flip game, I'll take the plus money, and I'll take the points. I see a close game throughout. I agree with you about the over. And this game might get into the 240s, but I think 2.5 is a decent amount to be getting for Indiana when they're 14-7 at home. So I'll go with the Pacers plus the points. I mean, you called it a coin flip. I agree. So I'll go with
Cat, but I think Cat is that X factor, man. If they can't stop Cat, how do they win this game?
It's fair. Once again, I'm kind of hoping that Turner does play. Maybe you want to wait for Turner status and you can go back from there. But we're picking a bunch of points, so you're saying how to stop Cat. I'm not sure either team stops anybody in this game.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Before we get to the next game, so I got to talk to you about Edge Boost. SGPN, we have partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for sports bettors. Hey, instead of having your card denied at the sportsbook, at the DFS site, whatever it is, or if you just don't want your information up there, Edge Boost card is great. Can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards as well. And you know your money's safe because the card is FDIC insured. Sign up today and use promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. So that is edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag, your home and place to bet every single sport is MyBookie. Shout out to mybookie.ag. They have props as well, and they accept customers from tons of locations. So go check and make sure that your location is a place you can use MyBookie, because it probably is. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. For a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That is a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, let's get to it. Next game in the slate, we've got the Detroit Pistons on the road going to play the Chicago Bulls. Pistons laying 4.5. Bulls total is 237.5 for Chicago. You've got no Lonzo for this game, no Sanogo if that matters, and Ayo DeSomo is probable. And for Detroit, same injury report, just no Jaden Ivey, as we know, out for the season. Everybody else good to go. So this is very funny, because you now have Detroit, who's been better as a favorite. They're still sitting there at 6-10. And I have no faith that they're going to go on the road and play the lockdown solid game that they need to play to go out here and get this win. And it's only because the Chicago Bulls are just randomly get wins every now and then. And this is giving me pause. They can't stop anything. They can't defend anything. There's no reason to not be on Detroit here. But the thought of laying points with Detroit on the road just feels nauseating, Scott.
I can understand where you're coming from. Chicago, once again, is not great, but they're only 9 under. They're not awful. They can sneak away with some wins, as you said before.
Yeah. And so how does Chicago keep in this game? They just keep scoring, and Detroit can't
that's
stop
where my
them.
thought was. I just like the over in the game.
They just keep scoring, and Detroit can't stop them. I like the over in this game. I think Chicago plus 4.5 is the play, because I don't feel comfortable laying points with the Pistons. Last 3 games as a favorite. They did actually cover the 6 against Chicago, but that was at home. They were at home against Atlanta and didn't cover 4.5, and then they just played that Charlotte Hornets team that looks absolutely horrible, and they didn't cover 12 there. Like, I don't have any faith in the Detroit Pistons when they are a favorite to be able to cover the number. This is a team I like to back as a dog, and that is really, really feisty. But when they have the expectations, it just doesn't feel like they live up to them. This is a gut call, but I'm taking Chicago plus 4.5, and I love the over here.
Yeah, they also played 9 days ago. That game ended up landing 246. So I think you're going to see a lot of points here. I like the over as well. Lonzo, you said's out. He's quietly their best defensive player. They don't have many defensive players on that team. Lonzo's one of them, and he's not playing. So I see a bunch of points. I see a bunch of pace. Chicago has 4 point guards in their starting lineup, which is still hilarious to me. But the point is they play with a lot of pace. Cade's not going to say no to that. I'm with you. I like the over. The spread's a little bit interesting. I think Detroit's the better team, and I think Duran should have a solid game. Same with Vucevic. But I'll go with the over instead. Not going to force a play on the side. Think it would be maybe Detroit 1-10. Close game. Detroit finds a way to win, but I think Chicago's alive to win it. Just give me the over. Just give me a bunch of points.
All right. I like it. And last game up, short slate. We've got Memphis Grizzlies laying 3.5 on the road against the Phoenix Suns. Total sitting there at 244.5. Injury report there. And we've got Marvin Bagley Oh, this is all the new people. All the new people are out for the Memphis Grizzlies. Marvin Bagley, Johnny Davis, all that. And then
But Ja is in the lineup, so let's start there.
Yeah, Ja is playing. Grayson Allen is a probable for this game. You've got Bradley Beal out. You've got Cody Martin out.
And Durant's alive.
Yeah, Durant's able to play. Okay. I mean, Memphis, despite this is actually one of the more healthier Memphis teams that we've seen, and they've been one of the best teams in the league when they're injured. So, I mean, is this a letdown spot where Phoenix just gets up for a good team on national TV?
I don't know if letdown spot's the right word. The argument is if Phoenix has Durant back, can they keep pace with Memphis offensively? Because the pace is crazy. We know Memphis's depth is insane. Really, no teams can match up with their depth. But the problem is the Suns do have two phenomenal scorers who can potentially combine for 70, and maybe that's enough. However, I think in order for the Suns to be competitive in this game, they need Booker and Durant to combine for about 65, 70 points. And it's Durant's first game back in about a week. So I'm not sold on Phoenix. They're 1-4 in their last 5. Yes, Durant was out during that time, but they really are not a great defensive team. They're not good at rebounding either. And the Grizzlies offensively are really, really good. And I do like the fact that Memphis has different looks they can throw at you. They can use Clark. They can use Edey. They can go small if they want to. They have an insane amount of depth. Now, the Thunder kicked their asses over the weekend, which is maybe a good get-up spot for the Grizzlies in this game because maybe it was a reality check. As good as we are now, the Thunder are still better than us, and they came into our building and smacked us. So I'm hoping Memphis comes out with a better effort. The Suns had a crazy overtime win against the Jazz. They should have lost. Grayson Allen just completely bailed them out at the end of regulation. Came back out, and they got killed by Denver the game after. Porter Jr. didn't play. I don't like how the Suns have played. It's really as simple as that. I think the Grizzlies are the better team. I think they're deeper, and Beal's out, and he's been good off the bench. Yeah. And you kind of need all scorers on deck when you're against this Grizzlies team. I think it'll be close, but I do think Memphis's pace and depth will be too much for the Suns to handle as the game goes on, especially for Durant's first game back off the injured list. Give me the Grizzlies -3.5. Feels a bit short.
Yeah, man. That's where I feel like I'm getting to this too. I just feel like
they have so many guys.
Yeah, and they all are consistent, and so this could it has to be a bad day. Like we have to sit here and bet a bad day for Memphis for them not to win this game. I think
even a bad day from some. They have other guys like G.G. Jackson or Kennard or even Wells. They can throw some role players out there who can have good games. The Suns need. What do you think for this total of 244.5? The Suns need what, like 65 from Durant and Booker?
Yeah, maybe more.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah.
So, by the way, thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Munaf and I hit the underdog lineup yesterday at like 6-1. So
nice. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about lock and dog in a second, but I feel like I'm going to be mentioning this game. All right. Underdog Fantasy, you was just talked about how y'all hit an underdog lineup at 6-1. You can go get down on Underdog Fantasy with that promo code NBA SGPN, NBA, college basketball, NHL, whatever your fancy is, you can do that and lock into Underdog Fantasy. We're about to drop another Underdog lineup, and we got a lot of pressure now because Scott and Munaf just hit. So me and Scott got to get something going here. NBA SGPN to claim that special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that provides bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in just seconds. So you can go in there and lock in. They have a whole bunch of player props as well that you can tap into. So go get down on the Rhythm plays here. They have what you need, and it's super duper easy to use. Like if I can do it, I know you can do it. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Scott. Lock, dog, underdog. Lock Memphis -3.5. I'm actually I think the Suns are horrible. And it's clear that Memphis is the better team. No Beal, that hurts the scoring, and now you gotta rely on all the other guys. And they have to play a perfect game. And I'm just gonna bet they're not gonna play a perfect game. Dog. Give me Chicago plus 165 on the money line.
Okay.
They played Detroit last week. Revenge spot. Yeah. I'm just going, just give me Chicago on the money line. Let's say Detroit blows this. And this is a what's it called? A reality check that they got some things to still work on, even though they are playing a lot better.
Okay. I don't mind that. For my lock, I was going to do Memphis, but we're not going to double lock. It's bad juju, so we'll switch some things up. I'll go with the over in the Bulls game. I think you're just looking at a bunch of points. I see 236.5. Feels too low. Faced off 9 days ago, the game landed 246. Lonzo's the only guy on the team that plays defense, and he's out. So I just see a bunch of points, I'd say early and often, from both teams here. And I think that Detroit maybe has a shot at 125, 130 if they're fully clicking against this defense. Bulls give up 132 to Golden State, 127 to Minnesota, 124 to Miami. You know how hard it is to get into a game in the 250s in regulation with Miami of all teams? Yeah. I just see a bunch of points here. I'll go with the over as my lock at 236.5. That's about minus 115 on DraftKings. For my dog, thought about taking Memphis as well. Maybe I'll go for like an alt spread if I wanted to do something with that. But let me just quickly see what the Grizzlies are halftime, full-time. I doubt it's going to be a big enough plus, but I can at least hope for it. It's plus 125. That's not big enough. I know, but we have the 140 cutoff on the show, so I can't go with that. Let me see if I can quickly build something for same-game parlay with Memphis. I might take Ja points with Memphis because he's had a great career against Phoenix. They can't really guard him. I think it's a good spot for him to have a good game against the Suns, so let me just see what I can get. Or I can go with Grizzlies to score 100 points in the first 3 quarters, which is possible too for this one. Sorry, just quickly see what I can get here. Ja, where the hell is Ja? Okay, you know what? I'll switch some things up. Give me Ja 25 plus points with the Grizzlies to win, plus 245.
Oh, what?
I know. FanDuel kind of went rogue on the player performance double there. I think Ja has a good chance of getting 25. 25 in a win, plus 245? Yeah, I think that's a great deal. I'll take that.
All right, Underdog. I like Ja's assist today.
Okay. You want to go for PA as a combo for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
24.5. What? Easy. That's not. Wait, no, that's Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm sorry. I was about to say what? That sounds really low. Ja's PA is 28.5. Still fine.
Okay. I feel like I want something in that Pistons game. You want to go Duran? He's killed that Chicago team.
All right. Duran.
We'll go with PR.
Duran PR.
Should be like 25.5, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And we can Booker or KD close out.
Yeah, let's do Booker. Durant's first game back. We'll see how he looks.
28.5 points.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Devin Booker higher 28.5 points. Jalen Duran higher 25.5 points and rebounds, and Ja Morant higher 28.5 points and assists. 6x. $100 get $600 over there at Underdog Fantasy. For all you that showed late, it's perfectly fine. Can rewind on back. You're all good here. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, not really. Once again, looking forward to the 4 games today. Pretty, I'd say, small card. We started early. I know that it's like 8 a.m. by you, so hopefully you're not too tired. Enjoy the conference.
Will do. Appreciate it. All right. He's at Rush Show Radio. I'm at really real __. Give us a follow and give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. Drop a like before you get out of the YouTube stream. And if you go back to watch the episode, drop that like, comment, all of that stuff. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to the NBA Gambling Podcast. With that, that's it. Appreciate you, Scott. Have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast is going to be like this. We are out of here.